This man cannot play banjo. I've been doing a few videos recently looking at people's technique and giving them tips. One of my students actually asked me in a lesson if I could look at a banjo player that they like and break down their playing. So this is someone I've never heard of, but I gather is relatively famous on YouTube or something. A guy called Béla Fleck. Let's watch some of his playing and see what we think. We're going to go on the old YouTube and we're going to have a little look at his playing. YouTube. We'll just find a Béla Fleck video. The first one we find, we'll have a little look at that and see what we think of this guy's playing. Béla Fleck. What a strange name. I wonder if he's Welsh. So let's look at this and see what we think of his playing. We're going to start as we always start in these, looking at the person's their posture, their positioning, and see what we see straight away, right? So immediately I look at this, and well, firstly, congratulations on the nice big beard. That's great. That's really important as a banjo player. Personally, I don't have one yet, but we'll get there one day. I would say immediately his right hand is not right. That's not going to do you any good whatsoever. He's got his hand, I don't know, it almost looks more like a classical guitarist or something like that. So really, when we're playing banjo, right, clawhammer is the style with banjo. We don't finger pick at all. So this position that he's in now is going to be good for finger picking, but I've never seen someone finger pick a banjo. So we want to think about how we're going to do clawhammer, right? And this is the position we want, right? So whereas he's down here like this, no idea what he thinks he's going to, where's his thumb? What's he doing? We want this kind of, it's a bit more of an open hand position like this. So we can do this, right? Up and down, down and up really, right? Like this. His position's a bit skewed really. But you know what? I could be wrong. Some people have an unorthodox clawhammer hand. I'm willing to accept that that might be the case here. He may surprise me. Okay, let's see what he's up to. Yeah, nope, that is terrible technique. That's awful. That's not clawhammer at all. I've never seen anything like that on a banjo. Let's listen to it a little bit more. It's strange though. I don't really know what he thinks he's doing. No wonder I've never heard of him. Like, if you're going to be playing banjo like this, then your career's probably not going to take off. I'm just saying, right? That's a hell of a lot of notes, I will say that, but he's not played a single note correctly, right? So just a bit more information on how we play the banjo. As I said before, it's a technique called clawhammer. What we do is we have a hand like this, and then we kind of come down like that, and then we pluck with a thumb. We don't always pluck, but we do quite often. I'm not going to go into tons of details, but clawhammer is played like this. We play what we call dumb ditties, right? Hit the middle string with my fingernail on the way down, and then I hit all the strings, then pluck, then I hit this low D string, and then all pluck. That is the basic clawhammer style. Now, what he's doing is, it looks like I think he's playing with a thumb and two fingers, which is a kind of strange halfway house version of like a classical guitarist. I don't know what you'd call this technique, maybe thumb and two fingers technique. I've never heard of it. I think it's very strange. There's just far too many notes, okay? I guess I would say, yeah, Béla, if you're watching, my advice to you would be, instead of focusing on playing lots of notes, maybe think a little bit more about playing the notes correctly, which would be clawhammer, right? If you want to do this technique, you know, there are nylon string classical guitars out there, and I'm sure you could be a really good classical guitarist one day, but as it stands, you've got no real future for you as a banjo player, okay? I guess every instrument out there will have its, I guess, avant-garde style players out there. Can't be a traditionalist. I do think banjo really just should be played the proper way. Maybe I'm not being entirely fair. Maybe we should watch another video, right? Let's close this one down. Okay, so I found one here called Christina's Jig / Plain Brown Jig. Now I've not listened to it yet. Just look at the picture though. Strong eyebrows. I love it, Béla. That's great. This guy's clearly been around a long time, because this looks like it's from the 70s or something. This is crazy. Right, this is a jig. So clawhammer technique, there's many things going for it. It's a great technique. It's the correct banjo technique, obviously. Problem is that a jig is rhythm based on a pattern of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and clawhammer, we'll go down and we pluck, right? That's 2 movements. So how do we fit 2 into 3? Let's just hear like what he's playing and how he approaches this, and then we'll think about how we might do it as a clawhammer banjo player. Yeah, so he's in G, great, perfect banjo key. We only play in 3 keys, right, on banjo. We play in G, we play in D, and we play in C, because they all work quite well with the G tuning. We don't play in any other key ever. Well, we might capo it, but that's questionable, okay? So he's in G, that's a great start, I love it. The triplety kind of jig feel, as I said, it's very hard to do that. Clawhammer banjo. So how would I approach this? Okay, so yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, we can just play the dumb ditty over that. That works perfectly. It's in G, and then maybe we'll chuck in a C. That would probably work perfectly with this song, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know. He looks like he's probably in his 60s, this Béla chap. So it's probably a little bit too late for him to switch to playing it properly. And it might even be too late for him to switch to playing classical guitar where his technique would actually work. In spite of the many problems with his technique, it does sound like he's done decently as a musician. Okay, I'd never heard of him, but my student who mentioned him seemed to say he was quite popular in certain circles. I think we can wrap up here because I'm just really not impressed with his playing whatsoever. And if I was to give genuine, like, earnest tips to this Béla Fleck chap, then I would just have to say start from scratch again. Like, just, you got to work on the basic fundamentals from the very beginning. You know, I've got loads of videos out there if people want to watch them. If someone sends one of my videos to Béla and just give him a few tips on this, you will hold arm like this. But I'm not going to go into all the details now, but it's a basic claw hammer motion. It's called claw hammer because it's kind of like a hammer, right? We hit the strings and then we move up. None of this, like, weird, like, wacky finger stuff that he's doing. There's no point playing that many notes if you're not going to get any of them right. Yeah, there's so much learning this guy has got to do. And I wish him the best, but he may just be past his prime at this point. Like, there's no point changing lanes now. But, you know, there's clearly a market for it, right? There's a market for this kind of avant-garde, novel, you know, novelty for the sake of novelty kind of playing. And I'm not trying to diss anyone or say that they're wrong, but sometimes the traditional way is best. So, if anyone else is interested out there and sending videos, clips of them playing, send it my way. I'll give you some advice. Hopefully, you're a little bit better already than Béla Fleck. Even if you're a complete beginner, I imagine you're doing a better job than Béla Fleck, right? Anyway, I'll see you around.